What is going on, guys? It's Dealer here back again with another RDX podcast. We're talking about everything gaming, especially when it comes to Xbox. A ton of great news today. And we've got an amazing panel. And I want to start with some introductions as we wait for the room to fill up. We got a ton of great stuff to talk about. We don't want to have to repeat 1,000 different things. So we'll start by introducing So Shady. Thanks for joining us, man.
Hey, it's never a problem. This is one of the best times of the week for me, getting back in here, talking games with you guys in the community, especially during this time of year. My God, we just got Spider-Man. We just got Destiny. We're about to walk into Forza. It's going to be good.
So much good stuff. Randall Thor, thanks for joining us, sir.
Dealer Gaming, thanks for having me.
What's going on? Okay, yeah, is that all you got to say? Thanks for having me.
Yeah. We're to talk about a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, there's so much stuff to talk about. Kids Move, thanks for joining us, man.
What's up, Diller? Feels good to be a part of another all-star lineup. How you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good, man. And we're about to even better because we got D Batch with us.
What's up? What's up, man? I can't wait to get into the show. So much news. And of course, Forza. Finally, the Xbox has a high-ranked game. Yes.
Another one. Yeah, and it's from the same damn studio. Kind of makes you really
fire those guys up.
Yeah, I know, right? And we've also got Cole Eastwood, the naughty dog of YouTube.
I'm just sitting here hoping that I can pass the time till Forza Horizon 4. But yeah, it's good to be here. And there's a ton of stuff to talk about.
Wait. The naughty dog of YouTube? I thought he was the Telltale of YouTube.
No.
Well, hey, wait a minute. Rand, you're already in the doghouse this week with me.
All right, well, hey, shout out to almost 200 of you already joining us live. Thank you so much. Hit that like button. Maybe retweet this bitch on Twitter. We appreciate it. I'm also about to tweet this out on Twitter myself, which I forgot to do. And I will hit this little button, and there we go. So
unprofessional.
I know, right? How dare me? So once again, guys, thanks for joining us. We got so much good stuff to talk about. I wanted to give a shout out to the Patreon supporters, the RDX podcast supporters. You guys are awesome. Channing Pennington, we got John Yoon, we got Mel S, Chief Exec, we got Guillermo Cabillo, Lethal Papa, Biggie 2316. We've also got Mariano Alvarado, which is kind of weird for me to pronounce. I'm sorry if I butcher some of this. We've also got Robert Plather. Thank you guys so much. And on Patreon this month, I mean, hell, I'm probably going to give away a Forza Horizon 4 Ultimate Edition. I'm not sure. So really, that's where I leave it up to you guys. Give me feedback. What the hell you want? I got whatever new game you want, plus 12 others. So check out that link down below after the show. Appreciate it so much, guys. We got a ton of great stuff. Starting with Inside Xbox. You know what? I got to say, Rand, this was actually a damn good show, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was a pretty decent showing. A lot of cool information dropped. That's what, I think that's what people wanted out of Inside Xbox. Like new announcements, brand new info, and a well-paced show. It was like an hour long. Mm-hmm. You know, that was been my biggest complaint with the show is that it's too long, filled with too many escape rooms. You know, but no, this one was short and they got through the relevant information. You know, it was about Forza Horizon 4. It showed you the Root Creator, which is a big addition for the series, and then of course Phil Spencer's big announcements.
We'll cover like every single thing that happened there, but the thing that really made this show stand out, and let us know in the chat if you agree. You know,
we had Murray's Jays that matched his shirt.
Yeah, his new Jays. We had plenty of criticisms of Inside Xbox. Everyone knows this for obvious reasons. But we also told people to stop expecting so much. It's not an E3, but at the same time, like it doesn't get much worse than the escape room episode. Like they made some bad mistakes, but this one was well paced, even though it was mainly about Forza. They kept relevant information to debut and unveil there, like the games with gold for October, which we have here, and the Xbox Game Pass games for October, which we have here. Things like that all add up, and then you bring in Phil Spencer, and he's like, "Hey, guess what? We're doing this and this," and you know it's really cool, relevant information. So, kind of general thoughts, Shady. How do you think this one compared to others as we get into some of this information?
My general thoughts are going to have to be honest, and I didn't watch this one because I was up all bloody night playing Destiny. Woo! It was tight. So I decided not to watch it and just catch the highlights of Killer Phil coming out there and talking about the new Xbox show, announcing mouse and keyboard, coming over to the console and stuff. I skipped through a lot of the Forza stuff because I'm already getting the game. I'm excited for it. I don't need to see anyone else playing it or showing it off. So I didn't need to see
So you missed it. That's what
I did. I skipped out on purpose, though. Not because I thought it was going to be bad or anything. Just I I know what's coming for Xbox, and this is basically one giant commercial for the next month, as it's always been.
Well,
so
let me get into some of the details, and then we'll kind of move throughout the panel here. But basically, they did cover a lot of Forza Horizon 4, which we will get into. Phil Spencer came out at the end and dropped not only the thing you mentioned, Shady, but something else that's actually pretty big as well. We'll come back to that. Tomb Raider DLC. Turns out every single month, if you're a Croft Edition owner, you got the Season Pass, you'll get a new tomb. I think there's going to be 7 new tombs. You get new weapon skins, etc. Those are also available in co-op, something small there. An Xbox One S Fortnite bundle, which they did unveil there, kind of odd, given it's a free-to-play game. They talked about some Dolby Vision and Amazon Echo support, stuff like that with the voice commands, and the new Xbox avatars that are coming in October. There was so much information here, Rand. What was kind of the thing that stood out without going into Forza or Phil Spencer?
Without talking about the biggest things in the show, tell me some of your other.
That's kind of testament to the show. Like, what else stood out to you guys?
That Kinect is back once again. That kind of stood out to me. They just repurposed Kinect, and it's now the Alexa, I believe, which I do not understand why anybody would want one of those things in their houses. But hey, that's your choice. Not. I don't know.
Conspiracy theory going on.
I don't like the idea of a something of a major corporation sitting there, listening to everything I say. I don't care for that, and I don't want it. You know what I mean?
You have a robot vacuum cleaner in your house?
No, unfortunately, I do not have one of those.
What do you think they're hearing you talk about, Rand? You talk about some spooky shit or what? What's going on?
You never know, man. We talk about everything and anything, man.
Well, let us know in the chat. Let us know in the chat what kind of spooky shit you think Rand talks about.
I talk about achievements and how they make me feel.
So, as I said, they did go into the Dolby Vision support. D-Batch, they talked about how they custom made this Dolby Vision support using the Axis processing power to send that signal to your display instead of it being the other way around. What do you think about that, and how they kind of brought in a team to make it custom for the X?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man, to be honest with you. I got to get all the details, the little intricacies. There we go, of how they get it to work. But it's amazing. Dolby Vision obviously is the standard for HDR right now, and just the fact that the Xbox is the only console to have a 4K Blu-ray HDR player. Now it has Dolby Vision support, and judging on the effort that they put into it, I think it's going to be excellent Dolby Vision support.
Yes, Dolby Vision, for those that don't know, is the best HDR you can get. As a matter of fact, its limitations exceed any modern display out there. There's no display that can do what Dolby Vision's capable of. And same for HDR10 to an extent. So, hey, Black Tiger in the super chat, appreciate it. He says, all-star panel tonight. And you know what? I happen to agree. So, yeah, you're right. What was that? Alexa, they're bringing the kind of basically Connect functionality to your Alexa, right, Rand? I don't know. It was interesting, but it's not going to blow the face off your skull. Dolby Vision, as D just talked about, the new Xbox avatars. You can keep your old avatar if you want. You can even use your old avatar, but it looks like they're bringing.
Does anybody even like those? That like I look at those and I'm like, they just look weird, don't they?
They're like the slightly upgraded thing from the Wii. Remember the old? Ever seen the bottom of the shoe of an avatar? Boom.
Yeah.
And the shoe, his fucking shin snaps and his foot goes backwards.
He's got the pigtail hair. Oh my god!
Well, I like. Well, it is an upgrade over
it is
for sure. I wish they went a step further, but of course, Connect. We don't really have it anymore. But if they actually use the Connect, they could do it like how Apple does it with their Memoji cons or whatever the hell they call it, where you can actually talk and it moves with your face and you can see all the emotions. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, it's there. So hey.
I mean, Rand, they do look a little weird, bro, but you're not supposed to be attracted to your avatar.
Well, I turned mine off. I turned mine off. I use my
bubbly faces. They got the bubbly faces.
I use my pick that I'm using now, the soft serve on Xbox Live. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, the option's there, so you don't have to use them. You can.
They're free.
One.
Yeah.
They also, so like I said, those new avatars are coming next month. So just keep that in mind. You'll have those finally. Those are over a year behind schedule. Last I checked. Hollow Knight, some kind of side-scrolling indie game is also unveiled, but they added. I iJustine.
So you just went over that, really, some side-scrolling thing, yeah, like only one of the game of the years of last year. Are you serious?
Calm down, Rand.
Dude, go check Metacritic and check up the scores of Hollow Knight.
I'll do it. I like checking Metacritic.
You just glossed it over. Oh, some little thing.
Right,
yeah, it's like
what would you
Holy
like
crap!
to
It's a 90 on Switch.
What would you like to say about Hollow Knight, Rand?
I haven't played it yet. I just know that the people that play it love it. It's a Metroidvania that is considered one of the top in the entire genre.
And that's available today, right? On the X?
Today.
Okay.
Yeah, on the PlayStation and Xbox, yes.
So maybe if you had fun with Dead Cells, it's kind of a side scroller like that, but not the
kind of. I think it's.
Is it related to Shovel Knight?
No, but they're similar. Similar genre.
Okay, I'm looking at it now.
Well, either way, I'm dying of boredom already. So we've got Hollow Knights, whatever. But what I noticed about Inside Xbox is they added iJustine for this episode, and you know what? I think she did good. I mean, people like to shit all over her, but honestly, I think she's better. Get your mind out of the gutter. I think she's better than most people they have doing Inside Xbox. Do you think she's going to be a permanent member, Kids Move, or did you check that out at all?
Dude, I didn't even get to watch the show. I was at work. I was hoping.
Oh my God. Okay, before we move forward, who watched the damn show?
I watched it.
Me.
I was only catching highlights.
Okay, so I get it. Like a lot of you guys had other stuff you had to do. I get it. So I just want to be sure. So 3 of us caught the show. All right. So Rand, it falls back to you again. iJustine, good addition or no?
Yeah, she knows what she's doing. She's a professional YouTuber. Is she going to join the cast? No, she's probably way too expensive for them to hire on a basis like that. She probably did it to get flown out there to Britain for that big event, and I think she's doing work with the charity as well, so it makes sense that she was there.
Well, they can hire Tobuscus.
Yeah, but the bigger question is, like, if iJustine was there, does that mean Mooch was watching?
Of course he was.
I think so, yeah. I think he watches everything she does just to throw banana peels at her.
Yeah.
I think that's... And Mooch loves iJustine, just so you guys know. Tweet at Mooch and talk about iJustine. He loves her. So I would give this one probably the best rating of any Inside Xbox, honestly. I thought it was well-paced. There was no white glove action. I know a lot of you guys didn't get to check it out, but that's kind of the conference there, aside from the most important information, in my opinion. They also talked about the October Game Pass games. So... For those paying attention, and there is some decent stuff in here, you get Wolfenstein 1, not 2. You get the New Order that came out in 2014. That's a really good game for those that don't know.
Very good.
You get Forza Horizon 4. You also get Metro.
It's okay.
It's okay. Metro. It's only a 92 on Metacritic. Metro 2033. You get on Xbox Game Pass in October. You also get Westerado. You get Lego Indiana Jones. You get what is this?
One of them Shantae games.
Yeah, Hero or something. And then you also get Split Second. So yeah, some of those are not great. But
you noticed that 2 of those were games of gold. Split Second and that Lego Indiana Jones game were games of gold. I noticed that immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Was it? I think this one's the first Indiana Jones, and I think we got the second one.
Well, one of them was. I don't know. It's Lego Indiana Jones.
Also, do we know if any games left? I still haven't heard much, other than like Mad Max leaving Game Pass. I haven't really heard much that's left.
I mean, they're not going to advertise that, but yeah, I bet you're.
They need to.
There's stuff leaving probably every month.
They usually email you though. I didn't get an email about any games leaving.
Yeah, and if you want to play,
go ahead.
I was going to say, if you want to get caught up on the Metro series, this is a good time to start because I believe Last Light is in Game Pass, is it not? So that would make both Metro games in there. You can play both Metros now in Game Pass to get pumped up for Metro Exodus in February of next year.
Yep. And the games that are getting a lot of engagement, the odds of those leaving are not very high. You know, that's why they removed a lot of 360 games. I think last month they were like 20. And then they added some stuff. But you are getting Forza Horizon 4 this month, which is massive. Kid, I think you get some background noise or something, bro.
Is it really that loud? That's crazy.
Yeah,
it's like traveling through 3 walls.
Yeah, I know, right? But you are getting Horizon 4 and Wolfenstein 1. Those 2 are definitely noticeable. Horizon 4 is one of the highest rated games of the generation. It's looking good so far. We're going to talk about some of that further on, but that's the Game Pass games. We've also got the October games with gold games. Anybody look over these yet? Rand, anybody? I don't know. I keep calling it Rand, but it's like it's kind of hard to.
It's because I know everything, dude. You know, you can
like
call on me and I'll know.
Only 3 people had the chance to watch the show here, so
I see the topics. I can see what the games are. Overcooked's a fantastic game. I already have it, so it does nothing for me. I'm not big on Victor Vram as I'm unfamiliar with the title.
It's really good. And Victor Vram's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stuntman Ignition's good, and Hitman Blood Money I thought was pretty decent.
Victor Vram's like a Diablo-style game with Geralt from The Witcher.
Yeah, it's like a co-op one too. I believe at least 2-player co-op, maybe 4-player. I'm not sure, but
yeah, it's 4-player co-op.
People that I know that have played it, so it's actually quite good.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, what about those 360 games? Are they all just
Blood Money's great.
Stuntman Ignition. Hey,
Blood Money's great, dude. Don't sleep on Blood Money. It's definitely better than Hitman Absolution.
Well, I'm definitely going to sleep before I play any of those. But I do want to thank over 400 people watching this live already, guys, and to the 9 ass faces that hit the dislike button for no reason at all. We haven't even said anything about PlayStation. Is it that bad over there? So, hey, the games with gold are a little weak this month, but once again, they're kind of, not really free. They come with your membership, but I can't really complain, especially with some of these Forza Horizon 4 reviews. We've all seen those. This thing is at a 92 on Metacritic with well over 50 reviews right now. Quick thoughts on the reviews, D.
Well, it's to be expected, to be honest with you. Everybody that played the demo, we pretty much knew that this game was going to be a masterpiece. I got to play a little bit earlier than everybody else, and I knew it was going to be a hit with all the colors, the advancement in the weather system, and of course, just Forza Horizon. The series itself, it's just super fun. Everything about it, from the challenges to the music, just to the open world nature of the game. It's just an awesome game, and I'm glad that they are getting the kudos for it. A lot of people thought the game would maybe get downgraded because it was too similar to the previous series, but everyone's loving it. I saw IGN gave it like a 96. They said it was amazing. All the reviews are really good, and let's just be honest, Forza Horizon is just the best racing game, period, this generation, period.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the reoccurring theme about Forza Motorsport. Like it, hate it, never played it, and act like you are tired of it. I don't know, but it's definitely the most consistent racing franchise of all time. IGN uploaded a video every Forza Motorsport review ever, right? They started from Forza 1 all the way to Horizon 3, and every single one of them but one was a 90 or higher. From IGN. I mean, they're very consistent, high-quality games. So,
which one wasn't the 90? Was it 5?
Forza Motorsport 2 is an 88.9.
And then number 3, how much was it?
It was a 9.4.
On the Metacritic, was 94?
No, on IGN.
IGN.
I think it's not far off of Metacritic, though. Like, these games are generally up there.
Right.
So standards have risen quite a bit here recently, especially, though, you got to do something new and try new things. But any other kind of quick thoughts on the review scores here? Chat, let us know what you think as well. Are you surprised it's sitting at a 92? Did you predict higher, or maybe you thought it would be below a 90 this time? Let us know.
I predicted 2 points higher myself. I thought it might get maybe a 94 just because it does look that much better than the last one.
Does it?
I think so. I mean, that weather is pretty sweet. I like all the destructive stuff. The animals running around. The world feels more alive. The color is everywhere, which is, I think, very impressive. And I like the whole co-op open world 75 guys driving around aspect as well.
And I also find the HDR is better, too.
Yeah, HDR looks fire. Horizon 3 had some of the best I've ever... I looked at that on my LG OLED. I was like, what? Jesus Christ. I'm a believer now, They did a very good job with it.
Somebody in the chat said 92 is better than 87. I'm not quite sure what they're referring to.
Yeah.
Code. It's just for fun. Knock it off.
The thing is, I mean, we all expected it to, to break 90. I've seen some Twitter. I've seen somebody go back to 1998 to bring out some scores to say that Forza is not the best racing game. So
they brought out Gran Turismo 1 scores.
Yes,
a game that would be a 6 out of 10 today. If Horizon 4 had somehow come out back in the 90s, holy shit, it'd be 100 out of 100. I mean, Jesus, wouldn't even be close. So, yeah, like I said, standards have risen, but you were saying people are getting really desperate. They're getting that desperate, huh, kid?
Yeah, shit's funny always on Twitter. So
Man, people just can't
Colt.
find a way to be happy.
Yes, sir.
Colt, didn't you just make a video talking about Metacritic scores ruining the gaming industry?
I know. Well, actually, I never made a stance on that, but yeah, I think it sort of does. I do. I think it does. I think I know it goes both ways, because like during the whole Spider-Man thing, it was ruining both sides, because people are expecting a 90 for Spider-Man, and the game's fantastic at an 87, and then Shadow of the Tomb Raider came out and it scored really close to Spider-Man, so both sides were bickering. Yeah, I think the game ruined it.
I think people get too focused on the number, right?
Well, I think it's because it's the only way to have like hard evidence proof where you can like hand a card to someone and say, "See, my game's better." You can't go off of opinion, and I think that's why people do it, and it's ridiculous. Otherwise they'll say, "Well, Gran Turismo sells way more than Forza, Motorsport 7." It's just kind of like it's all for fanboys, and they all need numbers, and numbers are great.
Yeah, the Wii destroyed the PS3 and 360 last gen too. What about it? Remember that video, motherfuckers was riding your sack because you had Spider-Man and Forza. You were comparing the review scores and why they might get scores, what the scores they might get. Yeah, you gave Spider-Man. You said Spider-Man would be around to 88, right?
Yeah, I did the math and it came out to an 84, but then I said, based on my experience of watching game reviews all this time, I would put Spider-Man at an 88, and I would push Horizon 4 up to a 90.
And people were like really mad because you said 88, which is exactly like right almost where it's at. Horizon you even underestimated, and people were still very upset because they don't watch videos. And yeah, I mean, both games are great. They're different types of games, but at the end of the day, I got everyone's game, so I don't give a shit. But
dealer, hold on, I got something to say here for a second.
I'm gonna go karate chop my cat.
Does anybody find it weird? Like the reviews come out and it's a 92, 1 point higher than Forza Horizon 3, which is an amazing score. Games don't really average above 9s anymore, right? I think reviewers are a little bit harsher. And like the common consensus outside of it being, well, it's a racing game, who really cares, is that, it's to be expected. Oh, I knew this would happen. It's expected. And I'm thinking to myself, well, like they use it as they don't use it as a compliment. They use it as like, oh, well, that's what they're expected to do. It's almost like a downplay, right? But then I started thinking to myself, is like, what other developmental studios out there put out a game where it's expected to be in the 90s? Like the only ones I can really think of are like Rockstar and Naughty Dog. Like everything else and every other studio, like every other studio out there is lucky if they get a 9. But like when the scores came out for this, it was like, oh, it's expected. They do good work. And then I've even seen like people say, well, it's super easy to make a racing game in 92. It's like, really? The Crew 2 came out 5 months ago and got a 66 or 67 or whatever it was. If it was so easy, why aren't all these other racing games being a 90 or whatever?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I remember Drive Club coming out at like a 71, I think. I remember GT Sport at a 75. I don't think it's as easy as a lot of these people think it is. I think it's easy for Playground Games. And, there comes a time where you just got to say, fuck it. Hey, the game looks great. Why am I being such a dickhead about this? Like, the game looks really good, and that's okay.
And this is the reason Microsoft bought them, because they couldn't have a situation where Playground Game doesn't need them anymore, where they actually make their own IP and become huge, potentially put out a game like The Witcher, and they don't bother doing Forza Horizon anymore, right? So Microsoft bought them, and you could argue that Playground Games is honestly their best studio, better than the Coalition, and better than
it is right now in terms of rating. And yes, it is, but they're highly experienced in the racing genre. They've had a lot of support from Turn 10, as I covered in my Forza Horizon 4 video like a week ago. A lot of support, and it'll be interesting to see how they tackle Fable 4, what will be Fable 4 by themselves.
Well, we can assume that there's some kind of quality control that happens within Playground Games that we don't see on a lot of Microsoft studios. These Horizon games come out and they're just rock solid. They're not missing anything. They nail what they do. I'm hoping that spills over to their other team working on Fable, that we'll see that kind of quality control that stays within the studio until the game releases spills into Fable 4. And that'll be a really great game
Remember this day, guys. We've talked about how Forza Motorsport 8 will probably get an extra year or something around there of development time. The team has talked about how a lot of them are still on Forza 7. They're updating the game, and I think this is Microsoft's way of, hey, we're going to polish Forza 7 and give you even more features, and that's great. But we also know our console's not coming out till 2020. We want a great racer to launch with that's going to be pushing next generation technologies. And we got to change up that every 2 years. We got to give them an extra year this time, which is great for the way they can optimize and improve their engine, their technology side, and the feature sets. So like getting club garages back, hopefully that stuff comes back. But bottom line, they found a way to push these games back 1 year each so they can launch with a great Forza game in 2020 and have a little bit more polish to get that next gen tech down. So once again, this could be the last Forza game you play until 2020, and then you're going to get, Horizon 5 in 2021. They're just kind of stair-stepping everything back. But they did do an interview, and shout out to almost 500 people watching, guys. Hit that like button. We appreciate it. Maybe share this somewhere. Thank you so much. They did do an interview where they talked about several different features of the game they never really revealed before, and we'll also talk about their launch trailer, and we got a ton of other great topics after that. But they did confirm that the first season will be summer. The seasons will change every single Thursday. They also said that launch is just the beginning. They're going to be adding new events pretty much every single week, weekly trials, new cars. The Ultimate Edition or Season Pass owners get 2 new cars every single week as well. And they are adding this route editor, which actually looked really cool. You drive and paint your route in real time, and then you can set the checkpoints and make sure people don't ramp off of cliffs. Xbot 448. They got to follow your route, or they miss a checkpoint and they got to go back. So I thought all that was really interesting, and they did have a pretty cool launch trailer as well. Who checked that out? Anybody?
Me.
Nope, not yet.
I missed the launch trailer. I did.
Yeah. I suggest everyone here check that out at the show. Rand, thoughts on the launch trailer? I actually liked it.
It was really good. I mean, Forza Horizon is really good. I've been playing it for 40 hours now.
Was this trailer better than like the celebrities like getting chocolate pudding thrown on them?
And I use that term loosely.
Right? I use that term fucking loosely. Hey, Tim Dog in the chat, brother. Thank you. He says 505. Yes.
Hashtag Tim is always right. Never.
There is a Horizon 4 bundle, isn't there? Brian Harris in the chat said they should have bundled Horizon 4.
There is,
but it's not a special console.
Well, no, Brian. Microsoft doesn't make custom consoles.
Oh gosh, I wish they would.
Well, they make custom consoles.
You can only bid on them and for thousands of dollars. Like that's something. When the Tomb Raider one came out, everyone was like, "Look, see, they do it." And I was like, "Hey, you can't buy that at a store. You can only auction and kind of bid on that." But
let me ask you guys a question. I'm interested in seeing what you guys think. Are you cool with the seasons being a week and that you can't really change them in free roam? Like, are you cool with, hey, when I start the game, it's going to be summer, but you know what? I really want to play in winter, but I have to wait a week or potentially a month.
That's just for free roam, isn't it, Rand? You're talking.
Yeah. So
technically, you could do winter the whole game, but every time you go back to free roam, it's whatever they want.
Yeah. If a race has a blueprint, you can set the conditions and you can set the season whatever you want. But a lot of people like doing the online races and free roaming, which will be stuck in whatever season is currently in the live server.
I think once a week is a fair amount of time, but at the same time, it also feels a little long. I think they might actually have like maybe weekend events where the seasons are changing like every 2 or 3 hours and try that out kind of deal. I could see that kind of stuff coming.
Hey, we got to give a shout out to Delilah HD in the super chat, hashtag Grown Woman Gaming. Check them out. We've mentioned them before. Check out Delilah and Lady Infamous, I do believe, and all those guys over there. Great cast, as well as K Mega. I was going to try to get him on tonight, but I don't think he was busy or something. But yeah, check those guys out for sure. So Rand, give us your kind of quick rundown. You did a review, and then we'll kind of move on. But some kind of close all this out. All the Horizon 4 goodness, the greatness, the best racing game ever made. To do a 92 today is so much harder than it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago when it comes to racing. Well, I mean, what are your thoughts on the greatest racing game ever made?
Forza Horizon 4 is the best racing game of not only this gen, but I think of last gen. It's better than Forza Horizon 3 in every way. The addition of seasons really changes up the races. Like I've actually done repeat races just to see how one plays out in summer versus winter, or play out in spring, because spring has more rain and more dirt on the, or dirt like puddles on the ground, so cars drive a little differently. So that's really cool because I like how the look changes. The online shared world, though, it's cool concept. There's 72 players on a server, but you can only ever see up to 15. Yeah. So, and I don't know, I didn't really interact with many people.
I mean, was it even populated when you were?
Yeah. They threw them. I mean, I don't think it ever filled out to 72. I think at most there was like 20. But yeah, I saw people. We got together to a Forzathon live event, which is this like event that shows up on the hour every hour, and you like group together and you do drift zones and stuff like that. But after you do it a few times, it's kind of like, all right, that was fun. But I kind of wanted to go do other things.
You know what's cool though, Rand, and I'll bring this up real quick, is if maybe you're not interested in doing that, but you see a pack of crackheads doing a Forzathon event like that.
Well, yeah.
That kind of brings
people are going to
love
love the social stuff, and then they'll make friends, and you can convoy up with people to do the races in solo and co-op. So it's a cool addition. One of the biggest thing I liked was the changing of the progression, right? Now everything has its own progression level, like the cross-country races, the dirt races, to the speed zones, mixer. Like, you get rewarded for everything you do, so much so that, dude, I have 130 cars, and I've bought 4. Like, the game just throws free money and free cars at you because you get so many wheel spins,
and there are no microtransactions.
Zero. I mean, you can buy the treasure map. Well, not yet. It's there, but not there until October.
You can't
2nd.
buy, like, you know what I'm saying? There's no traditional microtransactions. They don't have any of that. They give you a bunch of money, loot, wheel spins, and cars, XP. You can even level up each car, apparently, right?
Well, so yeah. So, how before in Forza Horizon 3, when you use your skill points, you got like, hey, your drifting scores give you 20% more, or your multiplier increases from 5 to 6, and it was a universal. They just changed that to make it individual to each car. So that's a big change. I'm not necessarily a fan of that because I tend to forget to spend my points on the other cars I use.
That's a you problem, Rand.
But I don't know. It just seems like a change for change's sake. I don't really think I mean, you go from having universal to individuals from the car.
It extends the grind like crazy to try and level up all the cars in the game.
I guess what was going for is, like, I'm sure, if you played it as much as Cold have or Dealer has, like, you have 200 of those skill points lying around doing nothing. I guess this kind of fixes that, because then you can go spend those skill points and level up your skill point category and earn more free wheel spins and free money. Like,
can you earn the skill points with one car and then spend them on a different car?
Yes. So you're not like forced to spend it on that car if you earn the like skill point in that car. But I honestly don't know where they're gonna go from here, Dealer. Like I said in my review, the series is starting to feel a little bit samey. Right, this is Forza Horizon 4 in a beautiful open world with the seasons and the online and all that stuff. But I did get a sense 40 hours in, I was like, okay, like this does feel very similar to 3.
You know what? I gotta agree with Spider-Man 356. That's a you problem, Rand.
Everything's a you.
Even Spider-Man problem. It's a you problem. No, I get exactly what you're saying. What I will say about the per car progression is that it will incentivize people to use different cars, maybe.
Yeah, that very well could do that. I'm just kind of curious to see, like you said, 3 years, right? If there's no Forza Motorsport 8 next year, that means Forza Horizon 3 is 2021. Hopefully they spend the time really brainstorming on how to change Forza Horizon 5 for the better. Maybe the new technology will help them do bigger and better things. Yeah. I don't know if they can add... like Tokyo setting would be nice. And I'm actually a really fan of... I didn't know if I would like Britain, but it's really good because it's a lot more vertical than Australia was. So there's some really cool like jumps and climbs you can do. But I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, what are they going to do for the next one? What are they going to do to change things up again? And when you're the top, when you're the best of the best, I guess that's a good problem to have, right?
Well, I mean, it can be. That's one reason we were saying, well, even though this one will be better, it'll probably get similar review scores, maybe even worse, because sometimes you get that with games that don't do enough. And the better you are, the harder it is to improve, right?
Take the next one to the moon, into space.
I think with the next one, because obviously it's going to be coming on the next gen, they can concentrate more on physics and, of course, getting us closer to that photorealistic look in the game, right? And that would be an improvement over this.
Maybe they could add you know what they're gonna do for the DLC? They're gonna add cars, boats, and planes. They're gonna do Crew 2 better than Crew 2 ever could do Crew 2. And that'll be what the next game is.
That are cops.
That are Transformers.
Legitimate crowds. So when the people stop actually racing and look at the people for whatever bloody reason they do, they don't look like trash. Maybe that'll be.
That was the old one. Like right.
It was. I know.
Hey, Shady, how about the next one will have Transformers in it?
Yeah, I'd be sold. I'm already sold.
Now, here's a hot tip, though. If you guys have Mixer, you have your Microsoft account, link it. Go just park your browser into somebody's stream and level up. And you will literally get free money when you start the game up and get past the Horizon prologue. I'm doing this podcast with Dealer, my boy, Cole Eastwood, Kid Smooth, Shady, D, and I'm sitting here leveling up on Mixer. I have 134,000 influence waiting for me to increase my and give me free crap in the game. So I recommend everybody, if you're going to play the game, do that.
Dealer, he's like farming. He's farming gold right now while he's
there's no limit, because when you start the game up, if you idle your shit until the game comes out, you're going to be like level 50, and you're just going to have so much money and free cars, you're not going to know what to do yourself with, man. I'm telling you, do it.
Dude, that'll devalue the game for me, though. Like a big part of what I like about Forza, and that's one of the negatives of Forza 7 and the campaign, is I like starting off with a little shitty car with no money, being broke, and then grinding and building that thing up, and then making more and more money. So I definitely won't be doing that, but of course that's going to be up to each person. But bottom line, Rand, you really enjoyed it. I agree. Yep. They're definitely going to think of some new ways to innovate next time around. Seasons look phenomenal. The game is reviewing extremely well. Hey, shout out to well over 500 people watching us live, guys. Let's try to get to 300 likes for the end of the show. We appreciate it. As we start moving on to the well, we've still got the Phil Spencer stuff and all that, some other stuff from Inside Xbox coming up. We're going to break it up a little bit and talk about the PlayStation Classic 20 PlayStation 1 games, along with a mini version of the PlayStation 1 for $100. So what are our thoughts? Myself, I'm taking the approach of, hey, you are literally paying for the ability to play PlayStation 1 games that we know they can emulate in the PS4 for absolutely free. What is some of your other approaches here?
I look at this thing like just a novelty item. It's a cute little novelty piece that sits on your desk or your dresser, and you can actually pull it off, plug it in, and it actually plays games. That's all it is. I don't think it's actually meant as like a back compat substitutes, or a solution, so to speak. Like, you can't put your games that you own on there. You can't add any more games to it. It's just for the big fans out there that grew up with those systems that, they like to look at that type of thing. I think Xbox do one as well, to be honest.
Like the NES Classic and like the PlayStation Classic, I'm calling them by the wrong names, but like those are made for like the people who was like, oh, I remember back in the day, and they're big gamers, and they take that thing home and plug it in front of their TV and play it for a month or two. Like that's really what that target audience is, and that's why those things sell out like crazy.
What is this little cute thing that just sits in your hand? Like, to think of an original Xbox that would sit in the palm of your hand and maybe play 20 of the old original classics that you bust out on a drunk night.
Like, fine, but yeah, the only little tiny issue with the PlayStation Classic that Dealer and I sort of touched on in our videos is that there's 80 million PS4 owners that would love to play PlayStation 1 games. Let's say like there's 10 million of those would really like to play PlayStation 1 games, but they have to do it on this mini. And $100 with 20 games and 2 controllers is not a bad deal at all.
It's really not. These back.
It's just kind of like,
you buy them new, they're like $10-$20
for the R&D they put into that thing. Why not do like what Dealer and I said? Like, why don't you put your engineers on an emulation solution?
They have. You can already play older PlayStation games.
Well, you can play the PlayStation 2 games.
This is what a lot of people are missing out on. Is people are missing out on the fact that Sony had the ability to let you play not only just these games in general and emulate them on the PS4 easily, but these are some of these games people already own from like the PS3 store, right?
Yeah.
And make no mistake, they may do this with the PS2 as well, depending on how successful this is. And we know you can play PS2 games on the PS4. It's not about, maybe nostalgia. I get it. I said that in my video. Like, this is the one possible thing I can see, nostalgia's sake. But other than that, there's a ton. Make no mistake. Don't listen to the radicals that tell you they don't want backwards compatibility. They were telling us they didn't want to play old games. They bought a fuck ton of copies of Crash Bandicoot when that came out. and now they're excited for this. People want to play old games, and furthermore, no matter if you do or don't, you should want to be able to keep your purchases and be able to play them on the device that you prefer. And that's what I said about Xbox One. Like it or hate it, I got 500 OG and 360 games I can play for absolutely free, and that's just a fact. 500, not 20, 500. So another person in the comment section brought up another good point was, hey, I got a couple kids, and I don't want them fucking up my good shit, so I'm going to give them this piece of shit and let them play with it.
Let's be honest. Most of us don't own these old games anymore. I know some of us do, but a lot of gamers don't hold on to their old 2-3 gen old games, right?
If 5 people do, though, they should be able to keep it.
They should. Like, that should be a definite option that they're doing, that they aren't doing. Sorry, that Xbox is, but
and he probably does. He has like a whole. He showed off a really fantastic collection of physical games he has throughout the years, and Noof might have a couple of these.
I know. I also do. I have a ton of my old games, but I know that I'm in the minority of that. And if anyone is into those games and they choose to buy them today, they're costing like $10-20 if you find them from the store. So it is expensive to buy them one at a time. And I really don't think that this little PlayStation 1 Mini is their solution to back compat. I think it's silly.
There is no solution.
No, but they just had an executive, a few months ago saying, who wants to play old games? They look terrible. Yeah. And here we are, them selling old games. That just is a bad look. But I think
they were already selling you. They were already selling you PS Now when he said that. The guy was just clearly not aware. Because consider this, right? And we're going to talk about PlayStation Now, the ability to do some other things on it, but that's what PlayStation Now is. It's $10 or more a month for the ability to play backwards compatible games. And Lucas said in the super chat, for some reason super chatted it, I thought nobody wanted to play old games though. She's giving some of these Sony guys shit because it is well deserved. And it's kind of the principle of the matter to me. I'm getting it for free, 500 plus games, many of which are enhanced for absolutely free. And, they're selling you a little mini console for $100, whether you think it's a good deal or not. Digital data don't cost them shit to put on a little internal flash drive. So,
it shines the light on. Because I agree with you, Shady. You made really good points. I agree with you, but it shines the light on their lack of backward compatibility and how Microsoft does it better. And they're not doing it. But the other thing is, the next day they announced that PS4 games and the PS2 games would be downloadable on your console through PS Now, so you don't have to stream them.
Yep.
And now there's like 20 PS2 games that they ported specially through emulation to play on the PS4. And if you own that game on disc, Sony's like, I don't care. You have to buy the port version. So like that's kind of a blatant turn against backward compatibility. And Sony has all they have to do is just let you authenticate the games through PS Now. If you have the disc base, think about all the PlayStation gamers who are on PlayStation Plus. They get 24 games every year that are PS3 titles. And more than likely, there's like 500 almost PS3 games on PS Now. More than likely, quite a few of those games you get all year long on PS Plus are in PS Now, and you cannot play them, even though they could just turn the green light and let you access it for free through PS Now and let you stream the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why I'm calling them out. Like, do the right thing. I'm calling out Microsoft. Get rid of the free to pay paywall there. It's like, just do this stuff. It's easy. It's
somebody
so easy.
Somebody in the chat says they're not free if you don't. They're not free. 500 games. They're not free if you don't own them. Of course.
But, what's really messed up though? What's really messed up that nobody rarely ever talks about? How like PlayStation Classics that you get like PS2 games and I think even PS1 games that they remastered through the store, and you can like you were able to buy them on a PS3, but those purchases, when you bought those, even though they exist on a PS4 store, if you bought them on PS3, they don't work. And I'm surprised no one's ever like really made a deal about that. Like you have to rebuy those same games.
I'm not surprised at all that no one made a deal about it. I don't know why, but it ties into even my last video where I'm basically asking Microsoft, hey, get better. I feel like you are literally holding the Xbox back. You are failing the platform. It is better than what you are letting people know it is. There is a misconception out there. And I want you to do better because I'm an actual fan of the brand. I'm not going to damage control obvious fucking glaring marketing issues you have. And
on that topic.
And some people were like upset about that. And it kind of ties back into Sony. Like some people are so afraid to criticize Sony or Xbox. They're worried about how that criticism will make the platform look to others but they don't understand how they benefit through the criticism to the platform itself. Like Phil mentioned it several times on Inside Xbox today. Hey, we're listening. We are listening. Our fans let us know what's going on, and you know what? Their constant evolution, in additions to features and policy, it's proof that what we are complaining about, it's getting worked on. It's getting noticed. You know, I think it's worth talking about. What were you saying, Shady?
I was just wondering if you had a comparison for an example on marketing done right and why you think it's done right.
No, everyone knows Xbox's marketing is not good.
I know, but like against what? Yeah, I'm assuming Sony.
Even Sony. I mean,
Sony. What has Sony done marketing-wise other than buy up third-party marketing that just puts PlayStation at the end of every commercial? That's it.
But that's good. It worked.
Subway red, that was cool. If it wasn't for Twitter and all the zealots sharing it, I certainly wouldn't have seen a red subway. I don't live in New York. Who cares? They put webbing between the two Sony towers, took pictures of it. The zealots shared it. If I wasn't at those buildings, I wouldn't see it.
I mean, we were just talking about this yesterday.
Who's doing it? I know. I'm just saying.
We were talking about yesterday, and you agree with me. Sony do marketing better. Everyone agrees. So
I think all Sony does is put their brand at the end of every commercial. That's it. I mean, what are they doing that's insane that is so much better?
It's not Xbox that it's insane.
It's marketing, put Xbox at the end of every commercial, and they more or less have the same.
That's not what they do. Same. That's not what they do at all, and I can't believe you haven't seen any of their fucking commercials. They don't just put PlayStation at the end, and that's it.
Anything is for their third party. You just show me Star Wars, and at the end it says PlayStation. That's it. No. I've seen more Tomb Raider commercials than I ever saw of Spider-Man commercials on YouTube.
Oh no, you bugging? They've been showing Spider-Man since 20.
Spider-Man's been around, no doubt, for ad, but I like Tomb Raider. I'm drowning in it. There's so many ads for it. I'm tired of it. It's that extreme, and it's Xbox at the end. So other than just branding at the end of commercials, I don't see one or the other company really doing something crazy.
Okay, so you have the regular commercials, right, which are cool, right? Sell a game. The Forza launch trailer will be the commercial, but there's a difference in like the other types of promotions that they do that really separate the companies. Let's take the recent example of celebrities, and I use that term fucking loosely, right? Getting drenched in the face with chocolate milk while they play Forza Horizon. Be like, yeah, Xbox, great to be here. Thanks for the check. Play Forza.
No doubt, weak.
Right? And then check out God of War, where they literally made a video and plastered it on like the Golden State Warriors floor. And not only were people there like amazed by it, but then it got like media attention everywhere. There's like differences, and they're not subtle. They're big in how Sony goes about their marketing, their stuff versus how Microsoft does.
That's fine. Like I said,
about like one thing they've done. Like
Forza marketing is because I'm already in on the game. They can do crazy shit with the marketing. It doesn't make me more excited. I'm already excited. I only speak for myself. I'm just going to.
It's not about anybody who's already going to play Forza.
I'm not here to represent anyone else other than my own opinion. I'm not here to represent the people that choose to follow me. I'm not here to represent Xboxers out there. Nothing. Just my opinion.
And that's kind of like where you're not really
I don't think the marketing is that abhorrent, to be honest. It's not abhorrent as some people make it out to seem.
No, it's pretty
companies are doing something spectacular. They're branding it. That's it.
Hey, hold on a second. It also spills into how Sony has the custom Spider-Man console. They have the 25th anniversary console. They're bundling Red Dead Redemption with a PS4 Pro. PS4 Pros are like they're
hang on. Let me. Jesus Christ! How many times do we gotta talk to people and say stop thinking about just you? Okay.
How many times do we have to stop talking?
I'm not done, Shady. I'm absolutely
why do we have
not
to
done.
Represent everyone when we don't? We don't represent everyone's opinion. So why do we talk that way?
Ding 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 ding. I think he's talking about like the broader appeal and the buzz that's everywhere, and that's beyond PlayStation. Like
Shady is saying that it doesn't affect me, so I don't care, and that's not what we're talking about.
It's not that I don't care; it's I don't see a massive problem. I just don't see a huge.
Of course, problem. I can tell you don't see a massive problem.
Like I said, I've been bombarded with Xbox ads for Tomb Raider. The game looks fantastic.
It's not that I'm saying even that Sony did some next level marketing shit in terms of like, oh, they plastered an ad on this big expensive thing. I'm saying their quality of ads is better.
I don't know, those fake VR ads where they don't show gameplay and show some guy getting sucked into his basement rug and turning into Batman, and none of it shows gameplay. You like that? I'm not down with smoking mirrors, is what I'm saying. I'm not down.
The worst example you could think of. No,
I don't think so. That's the majority of Sony stuff is smoking mirrors marketing. I'm not down with it.
outside of YouTube and Twitter, like, have you ran across anybody talking about Spider-Man?
Not really. I mean, my sister my sister actually said she might buy a PlayStation for it, and I was shocked because I didn't know she was that big of a Spider-Man fan.
The marketing worked
right there.
Like,
I just don't see a reason to get the pitchforks and scream at Microsoft to give me some kind of fucking advertisement to get excited. I don't need an advertisement to get excited. I'm an informed gamer. I don't need a trailer to be like, aha, now.
It's not just about time,
Microsoft.
I know, but I only speak just for me. That's the point. I only speak for me. That's it.
We can tell. Go ahead.
Once upon a time, they used to be very good at marketing. Something's changed, and they're not even going at the rate that they used to in the past. Like, they used to dominate anywhere they go. There used to be like massive recognition, whether it be a multi-plat or a third-party marketing deal or their own exclusive. They don't do it. Like, they're limited to like Xbox Wire updates, some Twitter updates,
are you going to stop drinking Coca-Cola if they don't advertise? It's not a funny ad. Are you not drinking the Coke? You're going to Pepsi. Like, I just don't need brand relevance out there to make me stay a fan.
No, because
we're not talking about
advertising is big.
Here's how I think about Xbox and their marketing. I feel like they do a good job at marketing to their existing customers. They don't do a good job at trying to get new people. That's what they're failing at. They're forgetting about the people that don't have an Xbox or who feel they don't need an Xbox, and that's where they're failing.
And that's what I was just saying is we're not talking about how it appeals to you. We're talking about the rest of the world or how they present their marketing to anyone who doesn't even know what Xbox is, right? Like, of course, they don't need to do much to keep you shady. You're damage controlling their marketing like a motherfucker.
I just don't get wrapped up in the sales and the advertising, and they do this.
We're leaving out the other half of the equation,
so people have no reason but to buy an Xbox. I don't care. No enjoyment at all. For me, no enjoyment at all comes from other people liking the brand.
Yeah, I mean, no one said that you did at all. Yeah. No one's even talking about.
But for some reason, I think
you're missing the point entirely.
I'm stepping out of that part and saying I'm not with this. Fix it or else. There is no or else for me.
The other half of the issue is that Microsoft is just not taking advantage of opportunities, and when they do step up to marketing, it's just not very good.
And that affects you, Colt, as a gamer. Like, you're not enjoying Forza. You're not enjoying Forza.
It affects Shady. It directly affects me because I'm a huge Crackdown fan. Their marketing is so ridiculous for that game.
It's embarrassing. I also am a huge Crackdown fan, but I don't care. I know the game's going to be fun for me. So who cares?
But at the end of the day, if they do better marketing on that game, more people are going to.
People are not excited about the game because
more people will buy the game.
It's also months away
online.
It's months away. For a long time, we have held companies to the games for getting out too early. It was obviously too early.
Dude, I can pre-order games for like late March, but I can't pre-order Crackdown yet.
Amen.
You need to have it pre-ordered.
I can't even.
It helps to know that it's coming.
Why are we even debating this? Like,
I don't know. I didn't make a video about it myself.
Yeah,
why are we debating?
You don't make any video, Shady. It's not.
I know.
I made a video, and by the way, 90+% of people agree with me. If you just look at the facts,
that's fine.
A video that needed to be made, a video that you agreed with me on yesterday.
I agreed in saying that their advertising isn't great.
Stop interrupting everybody 1,000% of the time here. Okay, so you agree with me yesterday. The advertising needs to improve. That's okay to critique Microsoft about that. I think they get most of the other stuff right. Anybody who watched the video understands that I said they outclass Sony in a lot of areas, but marketing and games lately is not one of them. And it's okay to criticize them so they get better. And as who was it, Kid or D said, the better that marketing is for something like Crackdown, even the more that game sells, the more they can invest in their own games again. Just stop thinking so short-sighted.
No, I understand that as well. I mean, if the game only sells to me because I'm the only one out there that doesn't give a shit, then there won't be a sequel.
They're not worried about you.
It didn't make money. It didn't make money. I get that. That's fine. As a gamer myself, let them worry about it. I'm not spending my energy. I'm not worrying about it myself.
Then you also shouldn't be worried about those who are worried about it by that logic.
I just happened to be on a show where the question was asked. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had an opinion to begin with.
Well, you got a very strong opinion, so obviously it bothered you. But for most people, we can all admit that Microsoft has been a very, very weak point with marketing since 2013. In many ways, that was good. That's the reason they got their ass kicked and they became so pro-consumer. I've said it over and over. I'm glad 2013 happened. It sucks for a lot of the fans and stuff, but in terms of what Xbox is, night and day from what it used to be. And that's a great thing to me. They become very pro-consumer. And we know the other problems, games, I addressed that too. That's coming. I mean, that's not the main problem. The main problem now is marketing, how they are perceived. And they're just not, they've never been all that great at it. And most people, I think, agree with that. It's not very controversial, and I think it's okay to ask for better from this fucking corporation.
The examples we even used with those stupid Forza ads, I mean, that's just on their channel. They're not running that shit on YouTube or on
what it is. It costs them money. They hired a bunch of celebrities and wasted a bunch of fucking money on it. Like,
no doubt. You also praised their recent launch trailer for the game. So, I mean, where you
launch trailer is definitely better. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like people, I mean, from what I know or recall, Microsoft and Sony switched marketing agencies at the beginning of this gen. So like a lot of people complained of PS3's marketing strategy last gen. It wasn't very good. And for whatever reason, I recall reading that Sony had hired the marketing firm that did Microsoft and Xbox's stuff, which is probably why they're better this gen. And Microsoft was working with Sony's old partner for whatever reason. Microsoft tends to, I don't know, they do old-fashioned marketing where it's like, hey, you see this celebrity? You like that celebrity. He's playing your favorite game. You want to play game? You like celebrity? Like,
most people said, I like that celebrity 10 years ago.
Yeah, but Exhibit. Like, that's 12 years ago.
Right, I mean,
not just Pimp My Ride anymore.
Like, think about it. They get all these celebrities, right? Just really quick. They get all these celebrities. They do those Xbox Live sessions, which are with celebrities. We all remember the Crackdown thing with a bunch of celebrities. I don't know. Somebody at Microsoft is they must think like, well, people like celebrities. They're playing your favorite game. You like them. You like game.
It's self-service, Rand. They're self-serving themselves. Oh, this would be really fun if we did this, and we get to be in the studio with these people, and we'll make this, and we'll shoot water and mud, and it'll be so fun, and we'll record it, and people love it. What I see from Microsoft's marketing lately, the past year or so, is it seems like it's all internal. Like all the staff has kind of made themselves their own marketing team. And they're like, hey, we don't need to hire a firm. We're just going to do it ourselves. And that's what it looks like when I see inside Xbox, when I see some of these promos they do. Like Dealer and I were talking about last week, where is this super hype trailer for Forza Horizon that just hones in on what the car culture is and what it means to be behind the wheel of a massive car with horsepower, and a Dealer said like it backfiring out the tailpipe and showing a tire spinning, or close up, just like all the visceral grit that comes with driving, and just gets you hyped about everything that surrounds driving. Like, where's that trailer? You know, instead they had the celebrities. So I think it's self-serving. They do these things like the Panic Room. They think it's cool for them. It's going to be fun for them, but it's not fun for me.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know. Everyone's got an opinion, and you know what? Yeah, everyone's passionate about their perspective, but at the same time, I don't think it's ever bad to ask for more from this fucking soon-to-be trillion-dollar company. I don't give a fuck who you are. No matter if you're perfectly happy or not, there's somebody who's not, and at the end of the day, they can invest a little more money. They're making a shit ton. They made over $10 billion last year alone with almost no games.
25% up each year, yeah.
With almost no games. And the big moneymaker is games. When they release a big fucking exclusive like Halo 5, they made $400 million in the first couple of weeks. So with no games, they still made $10 billion plus on Xbox. And I'm just saying, put a little bit more of that back into and fire your fucking marketing team. Do something different. Make a trailer that's a little different. I did like their launch trailer, but it wasn't all that different. I'm just saying, go above and beyond. Go that extra mile.
Greenberg need to step it up, dog. Like for
Greenberg, he spent the whole marketing budget on waffle makers. Like I said, motherfucker out of touch a little bit. So at the end of the day, I'm a consumer. I spend money on the fucking box. They don't really do shit for me. I'm doing shit for them by giving them money. And, you know, I think people just need to remember that. Criticism.
What else do we have to talk about tonight, Dealer?
A lot of different shit, apparently. Once again, hey, Shady, I see kind of where Shady can be coming from at certain points there, but at the same time, I think marketing is really not aimed for somebody who's already decided, no matter what, I'm playing on Xbox forever. Yeah. Like, I think marketing goes above and beyond that. There's several layers.
It's not that either by any stretch. Things could certainly change for me. I have multiple.
I thought you said no matter what, you're not going anywhere, so it doesn't matter.
It just marketing doesn't affect my where I'm playing. That's my point.
It sort of does. How'd you discover Xbox?
I mean, obviously, I found out about it. So there's that. But it's been shit on since the beginning. Sony's been propped up for so long, and that doesn't make me a huge Sony fan. I own the system. Who cares? It's not my preferred place to play. No matter what Sony does, they need to release a fucking Star Trek holodeck to make me a huge fan of the brand. Honestly, no marketing will change that. So they can spend all the money they want on it. Personally,
there's a lot of people that
won't change my mind, and that's
a lot of people that are on the fence, bro. There's a lot of people that switched to PS4 in 2013. That's
only because of marketing.
No,
to be honest, if they're that petty of a fan or ignorant of a fan, I don't care to have them on the platform I play on.
Well, Microsoft does. That's my point.
That's fine.
We're trying to help them help themselves.
I'm not Microsoft, and I'm not out here trying to help them help themselves. That's my point. I'm here to talk games. That's all, from my perspective.
Well, good. You just throw them a little more criticism, and you'll be good to go, man.
When I see stuff that bugs me, I criticize, dude.
Eternal Shed-Eye says it seems like they're being selective with their marketing. Some games they're being a little more aggressive on. Halo 5's marketing was so fucking phenomenal. It actually got me really hyped. Yeah. And it turned out none of that shit was even in the game, unfortunately. But
unfortunately, here's what I want to say, right? For regards to marketing, Xbox marketing was on point up until literally like 2016. They had really they had the Xbox One X that they went hard for marketing. They had Halo 5, of course. You don't go cheap with Halo. They did some stuff for Gears of War 4. But honestly, their consistent marketing efforts were really on point 2013, 2014, and of course 2015. They had a lot of stuff to market. They were being very creative and all over the place with their stuff. Hell, even Sunset Overdrive, I watched that trailer in a movie theater. Like they were earlier. They had something going, but they just kind of fell back.
Yeah, that's a good point. But we do got to move forward. Shout out to over 600 people watching us live, guys. Hit that like button. Let's get to 300 for the end of the show. We appreciate it, at least for the discussion, at the very least, right? We can move on to something that Shady is actually excited for and should be excited for because he likes this kind of stuff. Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Basically, there's no longer, for one, the impressions of the beta. You like the game quite a bit, but you also came to me with this. They no longer have the 30-day map pack exclusivity. Now it's limited to simply a week on PlayStation 4. So they get the maps a week early instead of 30 days early. Why do you think this is? That's for Shady.
Me? I never came to you with that. I never came to you with that week versus a month stuff. I could care less. I don't buy COD DLC.
Well, who the fuck was that?
But I mean, that's good for the brand. Don't get me wrong. That's good for Xbox. We don't have to wait for a month, and maybe some streamers might play it on Xbox. That's good for Xbox. Don't get me wrong, guys.
Okay,
the game is good. I really had a good time in.
I sense sarcasm.
Blackout. Hey, yeah, did you? I enjoyed Blackout, the beta, a lot. I played it with a couple guys in the community and a few other YouTubers, and we had a really good time. A lot of us pre-ordered the game. We're looking forward to it. It is smooth. It's a really good pace. I find it's a mix maybe between PUBG and Fortnite for the timing of the match. It's not an hour mode if you're going to make it to the end, and it's not 10 minutes either.
So is this kind of proof that a game like this can be done at 60, even with higher fidelity? Maybe PUBG was just developed by a bunch of raccoons or like.
Shady sells me. Shady sells me on this game pretty easily.
And I mean, let's not pretend ourselves that Call of Duty devs aren't way better than the dozen or 2 dozen guys at Blue Hole Entertainment. Jeez, I mean, this game started off as a mod and just exploded out of nowhere and had to kind of grow off of that rough beginnings, whereas Call of Duty has how much money spent on it, how many people working on it.
Well, point is, so we were telling people that 60 should be possible in PUBG, and they were unable to even do a lock 30. And then you've got a game like Call of Duty at double the frame rate, and it looks better.
It does. I think the team comparisons, I think, are unfair on that one.
Oh well,
I know it. I enjoyed
and one's a brand new game made by a AAA dev.
Yeah, but the other one also sold more than pretty much any Call of Duty, and they should already have this shit figured out by now.
And they had a lot of time to fix the problems with this game. Honestly, to tell you, I've moved on from PUBG. I never thought I would say it, to be honest with you, but I like Fortnite better, to be honest with you. And I know it's kind of kiddie and shit, but in all honesty, that 60 frames per second makes a big difference in that type of game.
Did you play Blackout beta there, D?
No, I got the invite. For some reason, they never sent me my key to redeem, so unfortunately, I didn't get to try it.
Ooh, that's it's really good. I think people are going to enjoy it, and I think it's going to do a lot of damage, especially on the consoles for PUBG's chicken dinner. Man, it's coming for them.
Lethal Papa in the chat also was talking about how smooth that game is running and stuff, so he really enjoyed it as well. Yeah, so I'm hearing good things about the Blackout mode and stuff. I'm glad they optimized it. Even though it's in beta form, it's still running decently, so that's good. Telltale. What the fuck's going on with Telltale?
Well, dealer. Why the 7 days change, though? Why did something that's literally been like that for 10 years suddenly change to a week?
I think Sony realized that it's not really doing them much favors, you know?
Who, that, like them? Or like did Activision want more money and Sony's like, nah, we'll pay for a week? Or is Activision like, well, we want Blackout to be a big thing everywhere, so we don't want to really like screw over one user base over the other?
I think it's the latter. I think it's the latter, Rand.
You think it's the latter?
What are your thoughts, Rand?
I think it's the latter. I mean, I don't know. Like, Michael Pachter had some interesting predictions about Blackout. He says he thinks Blackout's going to be its own game by the end, or by the next time Call of Duty comes out, and then it's going to be a free-to-play title, like separate from Black Ops 4, and it'll be free to play on the consoles and in PC. And then the new Blackout mode or the new Battle Royale mode will be in Modern Warfare 4, and they'll just rinse and repeat. Sometimes he's right, sometimes he's incredibly wrong. But thinking about that, you know, like Activision did say they have looked at like a free-to-play model for that type of thing, but they weren't ready yet. I mean, it's possible they could let Blackout be played for a year, and then they're like, oh, by the way, it's free-to-play now. And here's our new mode that you can spend $60 on with, you know, a campaign and the multiplayer and stuff. I don't know.
Maybe Activision felt waiting a month was too long for a game that is nothing but online. There is no campaign for new players or anyone to go back and play.
Yeah, there's that
new DLC. So if that's all it is, they get it wait a week. I don't know.
Or maybe Sony didn't pay enough because there's no custom console this year. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Like, I don't think they had a choice, to be honest with you. Like I said it earlier in the year that every game this fall is going to have a fucking battle royale mode, and of course Call of Duty is going to be one of the biggest games. Honestly, I'm going to pass on this game just because there's no campaign. I'll probably pick it up Black Friday when it's like $40 or something like that. I'll pick it up so I can try that mode out. But a lot of other gamers I know, they're looking forward to this mode, especially the guys that play online all the time. And the fact that it has a battle royale mode and it's Call of Duty, it's going to sell like crazy. And why would Activision want to tie their hands by saying, yeah, we're going to leave it on, you know, the Sony platform for a month, 2 months before it goes to the Xbox? Because they're going to alienate a lot of players. And I think they want this game to be very successful because it's a new mode. It's a new take on the Call of Duty series. And I think that's what happened.
Good. I'm guessing it's going to be their biggest Call of Duty ever.
Well, we'll see. We got a lot of stuff left to talk about, guys. Call of Duty looks interesting. The fans seem to like it. Shady, Lethal Pop, a lot of people I talked to seem to be impressed with the Blackout mode as well. So I guess we'll have to see. Real quick, Telltale Games ran just as quickly as possible. Sum this whole situation up.
To the surprise of everybody, they basically shut down, canceled Stranger Things and Walking Dead, or Wolf Among Us Season 2. There's like 25 people left, and they might finish Walking Dead this season, or they might not. But it really took everybody by surprise. People thought that they were doing well, but apparently all their games after Minecraft were commercial failures. Didn't make them any money. And I guess you can say this was management not having a solid business plan after they exploded with The Walking Dead. And I've seen people ask, you know, Phil Spencer or PlayStation to save Telltale, but there's nobody left to save. The studio really doesn't exist anymore.
Well, there have been teams that have been saying, hey, join us. You know, we got some positions, fill our positions, which leads me to Kids Move. Mentioned on Twitter that, you know, like it could very well happen. Playground Games apparently has a lot of open seats for developers here, Kid. What were you getting at on Twitter?
What do you mean? I've said a lot on Twitter, dude.
Playground Games, potential another studio or something, right?
Oh, yeah, I retweeted a post up tweet where he said they're making there's three. They have three studios. They have the Forza team, then they got the open world one, and then they're supposed to be building another team, but we don't know for what.
Does they have 100 positions open or something like that?
Yeah.
Which is
wait, what aren't those supposed to be for the second studio, not for a third one?
From what I hear, I mean, Rand, you might know more than I do about that, but I hear 3. I thought it was only 2, but I'm hearing 3. Like the 3,
I mean,
3 including
studios,
Forza's, including the Forza studio.
3 studios would be huge. I mean, we do know they announced at E3 that they were building a second studio and that was working on a new game.
Yeah.
If they're suddenly also building a third studio, Jesus, what is that going to be? 600 people at that studio?
Dude, you guys have I would love to talk more, but I got a video that I want to put out. And Rand, I want you to really listen to it because I want to see.
I listen to all your videos, bro.
No, but this video,
I want you to really listen to it, though.
I want you to really because I need you to listen to it and tell me if I'm honest. All right, I'll put it. It'll be off sometime tomorrow.
Robert, I'm honestly more surprised that people's surprised that Telltale went under. I heard about this like 2 months ago on IGN. They were saying the studio was having massive financial problems. Nobody reported on it. No one cared, which tells you most people don't care about Telltale.
Was it the lawsuit that did it to them, or is it just mismanagement? Because
I think it's mismanagement. Those licenses have got to cost a pretty penny to be getting like Batman and Guardians of the Galaxy and Walking Dead. Like these are all huge licenses, so they're taking a big chunk of whatever profit they make. And then who knows what went wrong? Just people weren't buying the games anymore. They were getting cookie cutter and not stand out enough. I mean, if they have
their finances were just dropped, their sales were just
that's fine, but they're just not doing big enough. The company's gone. No one's coming in to buy the remnants of nothing. It's unfortunate for the people that work there. But.
I read a little article today, if I'm not mistaken. It was saying that the Stranger Things game will still happen, though.
I heard it was actually they were going to finish the Walking Dead season. And let me tell you, if they don't finish that season, those fans have a right to riot. You're going to buy 5 seasons of a game, and then halfway through the last part of the story, they're just like, we're out. That's brutal. Like,
that's really just brutal. End it and they just kill everyone.
It is a zombie. At least there would be an ending then, you know.
Hey, Robert Griffin, the super chat says best podcast bar. None. I think you meant on a Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, right? You can't make claims like that, Robert. It upsets people. Hey, do appreciate it though, bud. So Telltale, interesting. Some of those developers are moving to some other studios, which kind of led us to the Playground thing. Maybe they're kind of bringing in. I would like for some of these Telltale guys to take some of their narrative prowess and maybe just augment the storytelling power of the studios Microsoft do have. Far Cry 5 microtransactions. Apparently, what's the deal here, Rand? You can pay to level up your character now or some shit?
And Devil May Cry? Oh, Devil May Cry 5, yeah.
What's the full story there?
So they found out in TGS that you can spend real money to buy red orbs, which then you can like buy moves and skills and upgrades for your characters, which I guess they introduced in Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, the re-release from a couple years ago. So of course people are like, wait a minute, single player game. How's this going to work? It's like the Shadow of War thing all over again. It's like, are you going to intentionally throttle back how I earn red orbs?
Yeah.
Make me want to do that. So there's a whole bunch of questions about it. The way it was framed also is weird. They said it was about player choice. Like, hey, we know not everybody has a whole bunch of time. So we wanted to give people the option, to level themselves up if they, they just couldn't play. But then I was like, well, wait a minute. Like, if that was true player choice, why not just have a mode where all the skills are unlocked, or just let a person buy all the skills without buying any money? It's like, don't call it player choice and like drape it up like that when it's really like you're paying for cheat codes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Player choice, my ass.
Yeah.
It's a design decision.
The choice to spend more money.
Artistic.
Yeah, that was a pretty shitty news coming out of that. But the one good thing was that it's going to have an online component, and some people are assuming that it's going to have co-op because you're going to have 3 players online.
Yeah, like we might have like 2 to 3 player co-op. But apparently people are saying that played Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition was that they increased the orbs you actually got compared to the original release, and that you didn't need the orbs. So I don't really know. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't know. Like I'm kind of looking at them side-eyed on this one. Be like, really? The game looks so amazing. Capcom, you're doing so well. And then you do this.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you give an inch, they take a mile. Shout out to who's next in the chat, man. Thanks for joining us. Shady, I wanted to ask you another question about something else. I know you're an expert in here. You got a lot of perspective on this, so I wanted to bring this topic up. Horse balls. What's going on with Red Dead 2? Woo! What's the full story there on those?
Apparently, the detail levels in this game are on some next level stuff. Where for those keeping an eye out, so to speak,
in Red Dead 2,
notice,
right?
in Red Dead Redemption 2, Red Dead Redemption 2. If you're out there looking and you're, it's a little chilly outside, you can tell by your horse and his current endowment stature. So that's pretty funny. I've heard other guys say that you can like talk to yourself in the mirror, and I think it was IGN went into some details on just like the buying stuff back and forth and like eating and everything. Like I guess the detail level is just staggering. So I hope it's fun detail, to be honest, and not busy work left and right. I live the real life. It's pretty detailed out here. That's why I play games. Fun.
So just for those that didn't catch that, Red Dead 2, so detailed, so much time put into this game that Rockstar decided to simulate testicle shrinkage in cold weather.
Yes.
Okay, so hopefully they decide to simulate some good fucking side missions. I really hope they decide to do that as well if they're going through the links to do this with horse balls. I mean, Red Dead 2, big game. And it's obviously probably going to be game of the year. Let's just be real. Like, it's either that or God of War, so I guess we'll have to find out. But
wait, no Forza Horizon 4 dealer?
Well, racing games, for some reason, they're just not allowed to win game of the year, Rand. You know that.
I think you're pretty right on that. It's God of War or Red Dead 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really the only two options. Well, hold on. No, Smash. Can't forget Smash.
Oh God!
I mean, if we're talking like Game Awards stuff, Smash Brothers Ultimate, you know what I mean? It's gonna be like a 95 on Metacritic. If you look at the last ones.
Yeah, I mean, they give any Zelda a 11 out of 10 every time. So. I'm comparing the things you're doing in Zelda to like something like Witcher, and I'm like, holy fuck, this don't even come close to Witcher, and they're giving it 10s and 10s and 10s.
I hope all this attention to detail comes into just the body physics and stuff in the game when you're shooting guys and the way that they react to that. That's what I want to see. The
testicle off.
Hey, I'll blow one off if it can be blown off, but I'm not aiming for that.
I did not need to hear that tonight.
Yeah, that was that's a great soundbite. So yeah, I'm gonna ask the chat what they think about this. Rockstar confirmed this is pretty interesting. Colt Eastwood, what's the big news with PlayStation Now? Real quick, we got to start busting through these topics, man. PlayStation Now, you've gotten some new capability, right?
Yeah, we kind of covered this earlier, but oh my gosh, nobody knows this because I don't think very many people use PlayStation Now, but there's almost 200 PS4 games on PlayStation Now. Did you guys know that?
Are they all downloadable?
I mean, they said that they're going to be doing certain ones, but if I read the list of the 200 games,
they're 152.
152. Okay. If I read that list to you, I guarantee you wouldn't know 90% of them. It's kind of like a good chunk. Like there's like 25 or 30% of the Game Pass games you probably never even heard of. But yeah, pretty outstanding.
I speak 3 foreign languages. I can understand those titles.
So you can download PS2 and PS4 games, correct? And PS3 games you still have to stream, or at least select games you can download. Which that means does that go for PC though? Can I download those?
No,
on my PC?
Nope.
No.
Okay,
just on the console.
The only games you can download on a PS4 are the ones that are actually available on a PS4 as a download. If you
this is why I said the authenticate thing that Sony needs to do with PS3 games, because they're not having you download the game from PS Now, right? They're probably letting you download the game that's sitting in the game store that happens to be in PS Now. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, that's why you have to check in.
They've set up a chain link fence that says, okay, go ahead and open it up. They're a PlayStation Now subscribers, so let them go ahead and download that game off the store. It's the same thing that I'm asking them to do with Uncharted 3. You own Uncharted 3 on disc, or you have it digital, and you can't play it through PS Now unless you pay extra money.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I brought that up. And I think it's a really good idea, and I think it's dumb that I got criticized for calling out that they should be doing that.
Yeah, because like, for example, the reason why you can download PS2 games, because they have a lot of PS2 games in the store as PS Classics that you can download.
Mm-hmm.
That's and so if they're in PS Now, then by default you should be able to download them since they're already there. But if they have PS2 games that aren't there, they're streaming only. So not all PS2 games are available to download on it. I like how they made the big deal about, you don't need PS Plus to play these games multiplayer for and they were bragging about the PS2 and PS3 games. Well, you think about it, like PS3 had for the most part free online, and then PS2 barely had or nothing for online. So I mean, I think it's a good look because I do think Microsoft needs to drop the requirement. Like, for example, you shouldn't have a subscription to access another subscription. So I do think the Xbox Live shouldn't be required if you're a Game Pass member. At least the gold membership should not be required. That I agree.
What, to play online?
Yeah.
Most games aren't only online though that are in Game Pass. I mean, Sea of Thieves is technically, but most aren't. So you got to play that part of the game. If you want to go online, you pay for gold. That's the way it is. That's the precedent that's been set.
If you're only for example, if you are relying on Game Pass to game, and then you have that subscription, and then there's a game that's on Game Pass, which you have every right to, since you're paying for the subscription, you need another subscription to access that game. That doesn't make sense.
You're right, kid. You're 100% right, and I think they can make an exception for people that decide to make that pledge to Game Pass. So basically, kid, are you telling me you can play PS3 games online from PS Now, even though you've already got like 200 milliseconds of input lag because of PS Now's input latency?
It's not very ideal.
Jeez, you are getting slaughtered if you're playing PS3 games online through PS Now. That's got to be abysmal. Several hundred.
Why it's free?
Maybe that's why it's free. Yeah.
Jesus, I just didn't. It's just odd that anybody.
Well, I mean, PS3 online was always free. It's not because of PlayStation Now, though.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, PlayStation Now is also more expensive than Xbox Game Pass. Like a month of PlayStation Now is $20.
Yeah.
Versus
well,
Game
they're
Pass
doing a
is
special
10.
now, where you can get the for $10 a month, just like Game Pass.
Well, yeah, and then they had the year for $100, which was cheaper than Xbox Game Pass's year, but that special's going away. I like the whole thing with like it's a good look for Sony, right? Mm-hmm. The perception's good. Like, hey, you don't need to pay another subscription to play online. It's good look. It's a great perception. Mm-hmm. Whereas like Microsoft, like they do. And then if you actually delve deep into the list of games, there's like a handful of them that even have online. Like NBA 2K16, I think Bloodborne has co-op, like Killzone Shadowfall
and stuff is in there.
Yeah, so it's like there's a handful of them that require multiplayer or that have multiplayer. So it's like it's great. I wish Xbox would do it. I've sent emails to people at Xbox saying, hey, you should look at this and maybe make some changes. But there's only like a few of them. So it's like, would Microsoft have to charge as much as PlayStation Now does, with the extra money?
No, they could just make the exception.
They could.
I don't know, man. I mean, PlayStation. I'm dying talking about PlayStation. Only reason I even brought it up again is because it is a competitor to Game Pass now, whether they like it or not. It's an actual competitor to Game Pass now with this new implementation, and of course they saw what Game Pass was doing, and like, fuck, we should have did this a long time ago. It took Game Pass to come out for them to do this, and that's why we always say competition's key. So
competition's great, dude.
Mm-hmm. We got to move on though, real quick before we get into kind of the big stuff. Is Spider-Man PS4 sold 3.3 million in 3 days, which is fucking great. Marvel also talked about Spider-Man. Basically, Spider-Man PS4 is a new era for Marvel games on consoles with an S. So whatever other Marvel games are working on, they're definitely talking about more than one platform. That's his direct quote, console games or whatever. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to see where they decide to bring that franchise. But I do want to talk about Phil Spencer at Inside Xbox, his announcement. For those still watching, guys, hit that like button. We appreciate it. We are going to cover some of the big stuff that was actually announced, which I had heard about earlier this year, a fall event from Microsoft. And I'm going to go out there and say, hey, this is competing with PlayStation Experience in a way. It's called Xbox or XO, and I'm guessing every single year they're going to add that year up to the end. But this one's XO18, so this is what the event's called. And basically, they're bringing kind of a fan experience, right, Rand, to Xbox guys.
Yeah, they're already doing FanFest in Mexico City, and they decided to bring back XO, which is where they announced like XO06, where they announced BioShock was exclusive. Like Splinter Cell, some things you can find information. Like it was a really cool thing, strictly about Xbox. But it was very interesting and telling that when Phil announced it, he immediately said, "Oh, and one of them we announced the acquisition of Rare, right?" And there's rumors always floating around that Microsoft is maybe buying Obsidian or buying Playful or buying all these studios. He teases it right away, right? And I'm thinking to myself, well, what better place to announce it at a XO event that you're restarting up and potentially teasing Fable or whatever? Like, I don't know, you kind of setting the stage a little big here because like you're bringing it back after being gone for so long. And like, you better have some stuff to show. Like, people aren't going to be like, "Yo, another 2-hour episode of Inside Xbox, great." Like, no, you better have some newsworthy stuff. And if like one of them's buying studios, maybe teasing Fable, great. People will be extremely hyped, and I'm excited for it, dude.
Yeah, it's set to debut November 10th, right? And I was thinking we were all wondering where's a lot of the Crackdown 3 stuff, the new information, maybe the online destructibility. Colt, do you think this XO 2018 this November is going to be the place where they go all in on Crackdown and finally lift the fucking ion curtain here, and the Iron Curtain, and show you what you've been wanting to see for 5 years?
Oh, well, I mean, they certainly don't have to. They can save it for stupid Inside Xbox, or they can put out trailers just like any other company does, a month or two before the game. What's that?
It's like this is their PSX. Don't you think this is good? And keep in mind,
yes, that's what I said. They should. I don't know if they will, but yeah, they should. Hopefully that this XO is a big. I've never really been aware of XO before this, I don't know how big of an event that used to be. So, but they need to put games like that out and start showing them. There's just a weird reason that none of us know why they just don't talk about Crackdown. Obviously, they're polishing the crap out of the turd on it, and I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. But
I hopefully it doesn't. I feel like PSX weakened Sony's 2017 E3 quite a bit. I think that was their worst E3 ever.
Of last year or this year?
2017.
Yeah,
I think it was their worst E3 ever, and I think a large part of that was because they decided to unveil Last of Us 2 at PSX that year. And I'm hoping this does not weaken any other showing. Like Rand is saying, you gotta have the content to support that stuff. Top Dog says these guys love Xbox. Shut the fuck up, Top Dog.
Dude, he was in my tweet, talking about my Forza review to We Are Playground Games, saying like it's just copy and paste or whatever he said. Like, dude, calm down. Calm down.
Like, Top Dog, you are a Sony fanboy if we've ever seen one. And you watch this fucking show every single week. Damage control and everything.
I could not imagine like having a disdain for something so much, but spending an hour of my time every week, my precious time, watching something that I couldn't stand. And Top Dog's like, he's excited to play Forza Horizon 4 because it got a 92, and he knows that it's one of the best racers ever this generation. And he's a big racing fan, so he's going to put on his PSVR and try and play it on his Xbox. It'll be great.
But yeah, we're kidding, Top Dog. You're one of our biggest supporters.
Yeah, Top Dog's a true fan. We're just screwing around with them.
So yeah, like I said, back to subject. Yeah, they are launching this Xbox XO18 event this November. They're going to be showing off. Apparently, he said they're going to have some first party and third party stuff there. And it's going to be kind of an event like PSX, and that's what I would equate it to. Hopefully, they've got great announcements. This is their chance to show off Crackdown before its February release. Hopefully, they move Crackdown up to January, or else it's going to get fucking destroyed. But at the end of the day, this is their chance to announce some cool things.
Question, Dealer.
Go ahead.
In the panel. Do you think they start teasing next gen here? Maybe just a little bit? I mean, you're in Mexico City. You're going to get people exploding if they announce something good. Do you kind of like tease it just a little?
No, I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna tease some of the new games coming from these studios. What they're working.
Well, there is. Okay, so from what I understand, one of Ninja Theory's games might be actually close to release, or at least releasing closer than people think.
Yeah.
So it's possible that one gets unveiled there, maybe at the Game Awards show. But I don't know, like, I feel like you need to go big. Like, if you're bringing back this show, like, you need to go big.
Yeah.
Like, you need to, like, be like, okay, this is... You can't just do another Inside Xbox. You got to have, like, really good announcements, great news, and I don't know, like I kind of see like how well that would go over in Mexico City where they love Xbox if like you kind of like, here's a tease for Fable running on next gen hardware or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They should.
My question, because you think otherwise, why bring it back? I mean, they already minimized
exactly.
Gamescom, you know what I mean? And you got inside Xbox, so you kind of have options to do this stuff. Why bring this back? Why, and especially XO? XO wasn't no shit. Like XO was like the shit. It was like the after E3 and after Gamescom, you had one more thing to look forward. I would always look for my Xbox Magazine Electronic Gaming Monthly for the November, because XO used to be in October, so you would have to get it in the November magazine of like the issue and whatnot. And they would have news. I remember all this. I mean, Perfect Dark was coming out, the Perfect Dark Zero. All this exclusive information about the game was out, new screenshots and shit, because I wasn't watching trailers then. New screenshots and stuff was available, and they were all from the XO, I think XO5 that year. But yeah, the XO was like a big deal, and I'd be freaking very disappointed if I seen round-faced Graham Boyd like headlining XO18.
What? So this is happening in Mexico, this show?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Xbox should stick to the tried and true, get some driving simulators up there, get a bunch of B-level forgotten Mexican celebrities together, and we'll throw chocolate pudding at them. Woo!
Jacob in the chat. Be careful, motherfucker, because we got facts here. He says Xbox guys are waiting for next gen for games. Honestly, you guys have more search activity for PlayStation 5 than Xbox has for any next generation variant. So you guys are definitely wanting the PlayStation 5.
Oh my gosh.
At the end of the day, I'm about to get a game this week. I just played Tomb Raider. I just played, I got all your games too. I got the PlayStation 4 as well.
Jacob and I are going to wait 5 long months for the next PlayStation exclusive. So we're going to be playing Days Gone in February. So yeah, he can take it easy there.
Yeah, it's okay. Nukem FedEx Simulator. Yeah, that video just did not. It stopped. It just stopped. And I'm thinking about tweeting that out every single time there's a fucking Death Stranding.
Is just a metaphor for the dogs that the FedEx men and women have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. He just wears a gold mask now. That's all that last trailer was.
You find it a little bit interesting that we haven't heard a peep about PlayStation Experience yet, but Microsoft's all in on XO. Kind of interesting, right? I don't know. Like the whole Death Stranding thing, dealer. Like, cool looking game. Have no idea what's going on there. That game's probably 2020, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost assuredly 2020, same as Ghost of Shiitake Mushrooms.
Shiitake Mushroom.
Wow. Oh, my God.
and both of those games are going to be 90 Metacritic and probably pretty damn good.
No, I think they're going to be 100.
He gets this, he gets the 90.
Well, Metal Gear Solid 5 got a 95.
Yeah, they made them review that game.
It's like better than God of War, according to a lot of people.
It's better than, because God of War fell to 94, by the way, guys.
Right.
It's better than God of War. It's better than Witcher 3. It's better than all the games. It's not really better than. It's weird. So
that is kind of weird.
Consider that. I mean, it was
cool.
It was pretty polished and stuff, but Kojima ain't that fucking good. Come on. But hey, Phil also announced the addition of mouse and keyboard. Finally, I did a video on this a while back. Razer partnering up with Microsoft. Phil announces it here, says it will be in preview soon. He says the devices you already own will already work. They'll still work. They'll just download a simple driver just like they do on PC, and you'll be able to use the mouse and keyboard. But they are partnering with Razer for an official Xbox mouse and keyboard, which is exactly what I made that video about. He also, really awesomely, in my opinion, was very transparent and addressed concerns. A lot of people are like, oh my God, we're all going to die, because the mouse and keyboard guys, obviously it's a big advantage in a lot of different ways. And I had said in that video that it's up to developers to implement these filters and let these guys know, communicate with them that you want to be segregated at your own behest. You want to be able to say, I don't want to play with mouse and keyboard. I don't want to. And that's exactly what Phil doubled down on and said, this is not going to change the way you play games now. It's going to be up to the developer, and they can separate those users or not even implement it. It's not forced. It's not one of those things going to break your games.
I think also, he could have clarified right then and there, because Microsoft is a developer. They could have said our games will have separate lobbies and already set that standard. Instead, he didn't say what they're going to do.
Well, I mean,
we still don't know what's going to happen with Halo. You can use
they would already do that, Shady. If he's saying
maybe that's an assumption.
Well, he
that's
also
what he
said
just said. It's up to the developer.
Yeah, well, they are one, and he didn't tell us what they were going to do. He just said they could do this, they could do
up to
that.
Turn 10. It's up to Coalition. It's up to 343. Like,
that's fine. I think it would have been nice if he could have said, on our end, we're going to give the players the option to not play with those players if they don't want. Like, that's the concern, right? Is people don't want to play with mouse and keyboard because they feel it's an advantage.
Did anybody pay attention to the key thing that was said?
Yes, I did, kid.
Drop the bomb, kid.
Kid, tell us.
Key thing is that he said something about it allows more games to come to the Xbox.
No,
so that
I
means
picked up on that as
Gears
well.
Tactics.
So
That
like
means-
Gears Tactics or Agent Empires would have a way to
Or
be
World of
on
Warcraft.
Xbox One.
Yes.
No World of Warcraft.
Call
Yeah,
it
everyone's
World
like,
of
we're
Warcraft.
StarCraft, World of War. Those are Blizzard exclusives. They're not coming to
X
Xbox.
sluts on Suicide Watch.
Hearthstone.
Because of the whole Blizzard.net thing or whatever, Colt.
Well, yeah, those are Blizzard exclusives. They don't.
But so what do you call it? Call of Duty is running on that service.
Well, so's
So's
Overwatch.
Destiny too.
Yeah, so I don't think that would really get in the way. I mean, if they wanted to bring them to the console, if most of
Dang
them
it,
are there,
Shady, I've never been wrong before. Dang,
It's a weird feeling.
it's so strange.
Oh, man.
But Kid's right though. That was kind of a bigger announcement because he said, "Hey, and maybe just bring games that never have come before." You know, mainly like Age of Empires, some of the RTS games. So that's pretty interesting. Well, you know, Gears Tactics game. You think this is possible? It just comes over in that form, or they'll make it for the controller.
he did also say that not every game will have the mouse and keyboard support guaranteed. He's like, again, that's up to the devs. If they want to make just a controller game, that's all it has. And
it does help
cool.
bring games that don't have controller support or that's predominantly like for mouse and keyboard to literally to just now be available for the Xbox. And they'll probably have, just like how they have the Xbox One X enhanced like logo, they'll have mouse and keyboard like only logo or some shit like that.
Yep.
Dope.
I think it's awesome just to have another way for people to play. I mean, that might be for a reason for a lot of gamers that they don't play consoles is because they want mouse and keyboard. And if they can't have it, then they play PC. It's not the power narrative for them. It's the controller versus mouse.
On Megaton, breaking news. According to Van City, we've never played a Kojima game.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't need to validate like my Kojima credentials. Let me just say that PlayStation 1's Metal Gear Solid was an absolutely fantastic game and
Masterpiece.
Absolute masterpiece. But yeah, I haven't played them all. But
shit's changed, Van City.
Yeah.
Even Kojima said it himself. A lot of these other developers have fallen behind compared to Western developers, and I feel like Metal Gear Solid 5 had a lot of things about it that felt very Western. That's the thing I did like about it. Frame rate was great, 60 FPS. But at the end of the day, I mean, it wasn't, I don't know, whatever. So, yeah, teach their own. Just a lot of people that would say the same thing about a lot of different games if you didn't praise the fuck out of it. So, let us know what you guys think about all of this stuff. Like I said, Phil, I liked how transparent he was about that issue. Maybe he could have been more transparent, but maybe he just doesn't know the answer to some of the stuff yet. And I guess we'll have to wait and see. But once again, guys, hit that like button for the end of the show. This has been our time. It's a pretty long show, actually. And we do appreciate you guys stopping by. Patrons, check the site. Suggest the next new game that I should pick up. I'm thinking about picking up Forza Horizon 4 Ultimate Edition, but it is in Game Pass as well. So that's kind of my quarrel there. I don't really know what to do. So let me know what you guys think on Twitter or on the site. If you want to become an RDX sponsor, link down below. If you want to become a patron and win some games, link down below. And of course, we got to start with some outros. Start with Randall Thor, man. Thanks for coming on and giving us your perspective on Forza Horizon and your opinion on some of the stuff.
Oh, well, thanks for having me on Dealer Gaming.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun being on this panel of celebrities, and I use that term fucking loosely. I posted my Forza Horizon 4 review on my channel if anybody wants to go check it out. Randall Thor 19 on YouTube. And as always, it's a pleasure being on the panel with you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. Shady, man, thanks for joining as always. Good discussion.
That's right. That's all it is, people. Everyone needs to, take a chill pill. We're just passionate gamers and giving our own personal opinions on things.
Yeah, we had Mooch on last week, and me and him had a good discussion as well. So it kind of it's entertaining at the very least. So even if we disagree, at least we're kind of passionate about it. But where can people? Oh, by the way, Rand, Where can people find you, like on Twitter and stuff? What you been playing?
I mean, I've been playing Forza Horizon 4. They can find me Randall Thor 19. I don't know. It's got all the underscores. Just check it out on YouTube. It's got all the links.
Got all the underscores. Okay. Yeah. And Shady, what have you been playing? Where can people find you?
I've been playing a lot of Destiny here this last week with my brother again. That Forsaken is really, really good. I also played a little bit more of the Forza beta, or not beta, the demo. I'm looking forward to that. Everyone can find me on Twitter. I'm so shady at the Sesh Empire. Come give me a follow, man. We have a good time over there. Just lots of jokes. I like asking a lot of questions and finding out what other people in the community have to think about stuff. That's all.
And arguing about marketing. Yeah.
Well, and also informing a lot of people about the legitimate ownership of Spider-Man and what's going on there.
Talk about an uphill battle, bro. Like there's a lot of people that just would rather believe one thing over the truth, I guess. Why it affects their enjoyment of the game, I don't understand, but so be it.
We'll see. Kid Smooth, man, thanks for dropping by and dropping some knowledge bombs.
Yes.
Where can people find you and what you've been playing?
Man, I've been playing. What have I been playing? I just finished off Tomb Raider. What an amazing game. Return to NBA Live until Forza comes out, in Assassin's Creed, which I'm heavily anticipating. But yeah, I'm in the podcast with a bunch of people that has over 20,000 subscribers. So if I can just borrow 3,000 of your subscribers to help me get to 10,000 subscribers, that would be amazing.
I lost 3,000 tonight.
Well, maybe they find their way over to Kid Smooth. You can find me at youtube.com/Kid Smooth or follow me on Twitter. All right, Kid Smooth everywhere.
Kid Smooth. Yeah, help Kid out and go subscribe to him on YouTube as well. He just dropped some new videos. Also, we've got D-Batch. Motherfucker been sleeping at his desk for a little bit, but what you been playing? What you been playing? Where people find you?
I've been playing Spider-Man, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and of course the Forza Horizon 4 demo. You guys can catch me on Twitter at D_Batch, and of course on YouTube at D-Batch.
Good shit. And we've also got Colt Eastwood. Where can people find you? What you've been playing?
I just finished Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Sorry, but I like Rise more. That's just, I'm just gonna be honest. I do. I really do.
I agree with
Rise a lot more.
No need to be sorry. No need to be sorry.
Was it combat? Was it story? What was it that
too many low spots? Like in the hub worlds, it was just so boring for me to go around, and I felt like I wanted to do everything, but it just was too slow.
He forced himself to do a bunch of side content he didn't want to do.
I always do every game, and this one just stuck out as I didn't enjoy the side content.
You know why? You know, we talked about.
Oh gosh, Dealer always has to lecture me.
No. I that's fine, right? But I get what you're saying, and I think I know why. Because like I said, I think that the game could have benefited from more encounters, just like Rand did. Yeah. But also keep in mind, anybody out there that just ran through the story, the main story, and just the story, you probably had plenty of gunfighting. You probably didn't notice.
Oh yeah, when you're doing main
exploring
missions,
a lot, like you went forever without shooting stuff because you're actually exploring like you really would. But while you're exploring, there is a ton of opportunity for Eidos Montreal to introduce wildlife that wants to fucking kill your ass. Like that would be a good way to kind of keep you engaged a little more.
Yeah, Dealer and I said that game could have got would have been so much better if they would have thrown random enemies in and around areas and wildlife that you could attack, because they did that in Rise. And but anyway, I still really enjoyed it. It was so gorgeous on the Xbox One X. I played it in performance mode. Photo
Don't talk about frame rates. It makes some of them mad.
No, I mean, it was great. It was really good. In the hub worlds, it chugged at moments, but so did Rise. But just freaking great game. Yeah. So yeah, Thursday night I'll be playing Forza Horizon. I'm such a nut. I'm like level 430 on the third one. I'm so excited to play that, and like basically from now until spring, I will never run out of something to play. It's just a really good time to be a gamer. I should also do a quick little preach. Like there's a couple guys in here, like this Alex guy and this Jacob guy, that were like, Spider-Man's going to outsell Forza. It's like, dude, it's fine. That's great. I've said before that it's going to outsell. Few games are going to outsell Spider-Man, I think, by the time a year is passed. And that game is absolutely fantastic. I loved playing it. I teared up at the end because it was just so beautifully done, the way they just did the characters. No spoilers. And I own both, and, quit being a fanboy.
Imagine living in a world where you think saying Spider-Man's going to sell more than Forza is, for one, going to shock anyone, and two, going to affect us in any fucking way. like I said, we play in both of them, and Spider-Man is one of the biggest characters in the world, so only a moron would actually think the opposite. So
pause. So Vance City said, doesn't Game Pass fix sales? Yes, it does. It increases game sales. And if you, I don't know, I think some of these guys watch Xbox YouTubers, but they don't pay attention to real Xbox news. And that's why sometimes we try to do both. We try to talk about Xbox and the news that's covered. Yes, Game Pass increases game sales. They don't know why, but it's truly a good thing for the brand. It works.
Now, Game Pass downloads don't count as sales.
Nope.
But Phil's basically saying since we implemented a Game Pass, people are just buying more games than they used to. They're playing more games than they used to. And at the end of the day, you should want the industry to be healthy no matter what anyway. So
yeah, your friends that have Game Pass are playing these games. You're like, oh, you're playing that? I'll go buy it. It's $13 and I'll play. Like they're just basically they're scratching their heads. We don't know why sales are increasing, but it's working, and it's the part of the plan is to get more engagement on the platform, get people more flexibility to play where they want. And if you don't like that, buy a second console, have both, and quit being absolute, and you'll be a lot more happy.
yeah. I think it's common sense. You see a bunch of people playing Sea of Thieves, and you're like, I don't know what this is, and whatever. I guess Rand gave it a 7. I guess it's passable, and I'll go ahead and go play that. So I gotta give you a little shit at Rand.
Yeah,
So he said, yeah. So I think it's common sense. A lot of people playing one game, you're probably going to be a little more inclined to pick it up yourself. But Colt, what he said about Shadow of Tomb Raider, I completely see where he's going with it. I understand. Myself, I thought the new one did everything better than the last one. Like combat felt better, more mechanics, better exploration. The tombs were fucking great.
Performance really good.
60 FPS was locked almost all the time, unless you were in a big hub world. Then it did drop sometimes. The story was definitely debatable. The last one might have took it. There were definitely more animal encounters that felt like more meaningful, and it just seemed like there were more in the last one too, which made Rise feel better in that regard. But if you liked Rise, there's no going wrong with this one. I mean, they did a really good job for being iJustine, for being the same motherfuckers who made Thief in 2014. I gotta say, this is definitely, I agree with the IGN review. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I give Rise of the Tomb Raider a similar review back then, and I don't know what it is, man. The achievements were definitely much better in the new one as well, and some people that matters, but it was a good game, man. You can't go wrong. I think Rand would agree. You gave it an 8.5, right?
You gave it an 8.
8. Okay. So
yeah, I think Rise of the Tomb Raider is the better, but you can't go wrong. I still enjoyed it.
I'm glad I played it.
You also get a new game plus in the Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So there's a new game plus in this one and everything.
Yeah, you didn't have to wait for a patch.
Ooh. Is that a shot? Wait, is that a shot like Major Nelson's stability shot?
No, that's a shot at Spider-Man because they have to wait a month for. Well, we have to wait a month.
And God of War, they had to wait too.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully more of these teams just implement this from the beginning. It's just a good option to have.
It's not a new thing, but
Kids Move had to get that final shot in. So once more, guys, thanks for checking us out. Hit that like button on your way out. Check out the links down below. Check these guys out. We appreciate it. We're out.
Peace.